reading. Yeah, I know, I can't remember what we were doing. Even as I'm like looking at the screen, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing again? We're reading Homer's Where the Bodies Are. The what? The voice changer is nice. It's the same one I use all the time. The voice mod. That's what I always use. It makes my mic sound better, honestly. Because, like, without it, like, I feel like you can't, like, pick up on my noise and stuff, or, like, pick up on me talking unless I have, like, the mic, like, really close to my face, you know? But yeah, anyway, we are here with Home is Where the Bodies Are. We've been reading it for, like, we didn't read it last week, I don't think. Yeah, we missed it last week, but we've been reading it. We're, like, almost, like, I want to say, like, we're not even halfway through the book yet. We're almost halfway through the book. We're about to start chapter 17. I'm trying to remember what happened last time. I think last time what happened was we read that, so they found the tape, they watched it, they realized, like, that their parents, like, found a dead body. They think that their dad did it. I don't think the dad did it, honestly. I'm trying to figure out if you're doing a skit or don't realize you're using a voice changer. Oh, shit. Okay, no, hold on. I was playing around with this earlier, the voice changing thing with my siblings, because I wanted to hear, like, all the different voices. Hold on. Let me just flip that back. Give me 1 minute. Hold on.
There we go. No, I was playing around with it earlier, and they wanted to hear all the voice changes, and I forgot to change it back, but it's fine. It's fine. That's not embarrassing or anything. I'm not embarrassed by that. Fuck. I try to check, you know, but usually, like, I never mess with the voice changer thing unless I'm doing, like, lore stuff, and I haven't done any lore stuff, like, recently. So, like, I haven't been checking the voice mod thing, because usually it just pops up, and then I just, like, minimize it to the background. I probably should have checked that. Does it sound normal, though, now? Does it sound okay? Ooh, that's unfortunate. Ooh, I just, like, made myself cringe at that. Ooh, no. Let's not clip that, actually. Let's just move on. But like I said, moving on. Oh, shit. This is a great start. Starting off great. Starting off strong, guys. Yes, the parents found the tape that the parents found the body, or at least, I say found the body, but I don't know. They think it's the dad, the siblings do. I don't think it's the dad. I think that's a little too, like, there wouldn't be much mystery, you know, if it was actually the dad who, like, killed the kid, right? I don't think it's the dad. But I do want to know why the parents covered up instead of, like, reporting it and stuff like that. So we're kind of at that point. They're kind of trying to figure out, like, okay, what happened? Again, who is it? Beth, Nicole, and Michael. Michael is our favorite right now. Everyone hates Beth, and Nicole's just kind of like the middleman, which she is the middle child. So we're kind of like, we like her sometimes, we like her not sometimes, you know. Beth, we just hate her fucking guts. She annoys the shit out of us. She's also trying to bang the dude who is the brother of the kid that they just realized their parents, like, hid the body of, basically. So there's that. Like, they literally just went on a date, I think, in the last chapter that we read. So that's all great, you know. But yes, having said that, let's go on to our now I'm just annoyed at myself because I really should have just checked the fucking voice mod. I always usually do, and then this time I was like, no, I'm not gonna. It's fine. It's normal. It was not fine nor normal. What was it on even? It was like what the fuck was it? Oh, it was on Glorp. Let me okay, I do need to know what it sounds like. Hold on. Oh no, never mind. Never mind. I don't wanna. I heard it. I heard a little bit, and I'm done. No, I'm good. I'll pass things. Thank you, Skelly, for making my embarrassment immortal now. We are going to do our expectations. Of course, I go over this every reading stream, just for, like, the new people or people coming in and yada yada yada. Y'all know it. And also, it just helps as, like, a reminder, you know. Not that you guys listen to me anyway, you know. I'm just kidding. Expectations. Number one, no spoilers. You may know this book already. You may have or you may already know the ending if you're like me and you like to look up the endings, which I have not done for this book. I have not done for this book. I'm being a good time lord and not looking up the ending for this book. When you were talking about the three finding the body, I couldn't understand it all for a few words. Love that. It probably didn't help that I was talking fast and it was like a high pitched voice, I think. So. No, but yeah, no spoilers. Let everyone enjoy the story together. I mean, I don't care if you know the ending or anything. Just keep it to yourself until we get to the ending, and then you can talk about it. Number two, respect toward me and toward each other. You may have different opinions on events that happen in the book. That is perfectly fine. Just make sure that you respect other people's opinions and they will respect yours. Number three, make sure you actually check out the book and the author. I'm really loving this book so far. It's very good. I think the author writes very nice. I'm usually not the biggest fan of like multi-POV stories, but I'm quite enjoying this one. I don't know if it's just because like the last like multi-POV story I read was like a romantasy one. Yeah, I'm not getting into that one. It was kind of like trash. I kind of hated it. But this one I actually very much enjoy. So definitely check out the book and the author. I also am not a professional reader, so if you want to hear a professional reading of this, I do believe there's an audiobook. I want to say what's the audiobook fucking app? There's an app that has all the audiobooks, or you could just buy it like on iTunes probably or something like that. Or maybe there's one on YouTube, who knows? But yes, if you want to hear professional reading, you will definitely not find it here. Because I also, side note, I also like to stop in the middle of reading, because this is my first time reading this as well. I like to stop in the middle of reading and give my 2 cents every now and then. Or if I mess up on a word, like if I'm trying to say like cook and I accidentally say cock, well then I'm gonna stop myself and be like, wow, you're a fucking idiot, Pocket. Thanks for that. But yes, also speaking of, please do not spam unnecessary words, I'll say. You guys can chat. I don't care. You can talk about the book. You can talk about whatever. I probably won't respond as much. I might respond every now and then to your guys' chat. But don't spam words like dick or pussy, yes, or balls. There we go. I was waiting for you to like do them. I definitely didn't forget what they were. Yeah, all the stuff that Skelly is currently listening. Please don't just spam those while I'm reading, because I will get distracted and then I'll just watch a stream of like these words go through my screen and just try and process it. And we don't have time for that. We don't have time for me to try and process what you guys are doing. I'm glad that you enjoy doing it. It actually helps me because I do forget the words sometimes. So, you know, it's like our little script. You know, we do it every reading stream. But yes. Anyway, we are in chapter 17 now, which let me just scroll on down. Is Nicole's POV, which is our little middle child, our little drug addict. So, give me 1 minute before we start, because someone just knocked on my door. So hold up, one memento. Okay, and we're back. Sorry, I forgot that I needed to let the dogs out. So they are outside. You might hear the door open in the background in like a minute or two here. It's just Harvest is being let back into my room. But yeah, so I'm so excited. Also, I think what I'm gonna do, because we were talking about it in the Discord, which if you're not part of and would like to join, there's a link. I'm not sure if it works, but there's a link to my Discord. Also, I have a YouTube and a TikTok, if you did not know. Weird time to advertise, now that I think about it. But I do have those too, because now that I'm remembering that I have, you know, like, other stuff, I might as well throw it out there. But I do have a Discord, and in the Discord we were talking about watching Project Hail Mary together. It's a big old group in the Discord. I'm gonna see if I can maybe make that work, but it probably won't be till, like, Friday or even, like, Sunday night, maybe. Um, or maybe Saturday night, Friday or Saturday night. I'll say maybe if we can get it to work. But if we can, I'll do an announcement and stuff and be like, hey, we're gonna watch a movie. You can hear me ugly cry and talk throughout the whole movie because that's what I do every single time. But yes. We are in chapter 17. Even though I'd want to join, I want to try and see the movie with my dad first. You know what? That's so fair. That's so fair. You do that because I guarantee you. I like movies like Interstellar and what's that one where it's like she's a translator and she talks to aliens and like it's like a mix of like past, future, present, all collided. I love space movies and like time movies like that. Like I freaking love Interstellar. I will watch that. Like I'll get into a phase where I'll just watch it every day, which it's a long movie. Interstellar is a long movie. But I'll like watch it literally like every day for like a period of time. But this one I just know I'm just gonna love it. Mostly because I also know the ending. But also it's a book and I want to get the book and I feel like after I watch the movie, and after we finish this book, I think that's the next book I want to read is Project Hail Mary. I know the movie, I just can't remember the name. Yes, yeah. I want to say it's like Home or something, but it's definitely not that. And it's going to drive me crazy. I'm going to like forget about it. But that one, I really like that movie. It was a very good movie. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that announcement. If you want to join, you can. If you can't, that's completely fine. I understand. I wouldn't want to hear me ugly cry or shout at characters. I was about to ask if you'd read. I do want to read Project Hail Mary because I've heard there's a few differences in the book, but the movie like does the book justice. But there's like details in the book that are missed in the movie, and then there's details in the movie that are not in the book. And I'm like, I like knowing the difference. And usually I try to read the book before I watch the movie, right? But we're gonna be watching the movie first, mostly because I know what happens in the movie. So, but yes, I'm very excited. I'm so excited. I've been like wanting to watch this movie forever, but no one's been wanting to go see it with me. So, I'm just gonna watch it myself with you guys. Maybe we'll see. We'll see if I can get it to work. Because a lot of times when I try to do like watch stuff or like share my screen, it just ends up being like a black screen. So, Harvest was let back in. Hello, my love. Did you have a good time outside? Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you smell like the outdoors. Get away from me. What? But yes, so hopefully we can get that working. I'll test it out like Thursday or Friday and we'll see. But having said that, I might, if we decide to do it Friday or Saturday, if we decide to do it Friday or Saturday, I'll move those game days to either Sunday or, what is it? Wednesday. Which right now on the schedule, I think I have blank. So, God, get away from me. You smell like the outside. Get away. Go, shoo. I don't like the smell of like the outside on my dog unless I've been outside with him and I smell like the outside. Because then he smells like outside air. And I don't like the smell of outside air. I know, it doesn't make sense. Trust me, I know. Okay, but anyway, I've been yapping for way too long. We need to get into the story. We need to find out what happened. And who might have actually killed this kid. Because I don't think it was the dad. I think the parents did hide the body. I don't think it was the dad that killed the kid, though. But I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. I had a theory on who it was. Oh, I keep thinking it's like one of the background characters that keeps popping up, I think. But we'll see. Alright, but we're going to go ahead and jump in, so get cozy. Get your drinks ready. If you don't have any drinks, then just, I don't know, lay down and snuggle up, I guess, and we're gonna go ahead and get into this. My voice sounds okay, right? I don't have any weird voices on, right? Ugh, I'm never gonna forget that. I'm now going to like religiously check the voice mod to make sure it's on the clean mic instead of anything else. But anyway, chapter 17, Nicole. I thought I knew everything about my mother until I started reading her journals. You can know a person your whole life, but never really know them. Because they only have to show you what they want you to see. I don't know why I read that like that. I didn't know she felt insecure as a mother. I didn't know she was afraid she'd raise us wrong. Make a mistake that would permanently damage us in some way or another. I didn't know she blamed herself for my addiction. And I didn't know how much she truly loved us. She doesn't write about the night of... She doesn't write about the night Night? Oh my god. I know this word. It's an easy word. We say it every day. Oh my god, I'm lisping real bad. She doesn't write about the night of June 15th, 1999. She alludes to it, but the entry is hieroglyphically cryptic. She refers to it as the night everything changed, the night that made her question every moment of her life that led up to it, the night that shook her faith, and, most terrifying of all, the night she realized monsters walk among us. I pick up my mug of coffee from the kitchen table and take a drink. It's lukewarm now, but I don't mind because I just want the caffeine. Another drug to distract my brain from craving a much stronger one. My hand trembles as I set the cup back down and flip another page. I read every word deliberately, because I know each one was written for a reason, whether it was hastily scribbled down or not. Mom's journals are sometimes like a word dump, as though she's trying to get it all out. Other times it's poetic, like she's taking her time, making sure it's just right. A few lines jump out at me. Even if I could dig a hole deep enough to reach the center of the earth, I still couldn't bury this. I always tried to do the right thing, but somewhere along the way, it all went wrong. You don't believe in monsters until you're living with one. And even then, you don't believe until you're looking in the mirror, realizing you've become one of them. Okay, now that's an odd line for me. You don't believe in monsters until you're living with one. Okay. Is she thinking that because the dad decided to hide the body and she's like, oh, you're a monster for not, like, bringing this to the police? Or is she saying that because... Nah, maybe I'm just overthinking it. It's probably that. She probably thinks that it's because the dad is burying the body instead of bringing it to the police. Because I was going to say, I feel like she's maybe alluding to the fact that it is someone she knows or that she's living with, but that really only leaves the dad would have done it. But then that's just too obvious. But then that would leave, like, the siblings. No, I'm just overthinking it, I think. Anyway, I noticed there are pages missing, specifically around June 15th. The frayed edges caught in the middle spiral are evidence of written truths tossed away. Why'd she even write them down to begin with? Perhaps it was cathartic to tell someone her story, even if it was just a blank page. I can understand that. There are many truths that I have written only for myself, because some stories aren't meant to be shared. The front screen door squeaks open. I lift my head to find Beth walking in and kicking off her shoes. Her face is flushed and puffy. What do you want, sir? I'm reading. Go lay down. Go on, shoo. Go, 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 go. Go, go. He was whining at me. The front screen door squeaks open. I lift my head to find Beth walking in and kicking off her shoes. Her face is flushed and puffy, and her bloodshot eyes look like baseballs with red stitching. She's been crying, and I'd ask her what's wrong, but I'm still mad at her for calling me a junkie and a crackhead. It's true, but that doesn't mean she should say it. How was your walk with Lucas? I study her face, trying to gauge her expression. Did she tell Lucas about Emma? She said she wouldn't unless we found something more concrete, but I'm not sure I believe her. Fine. She retrieves a glass from a cupboard and fills it with tap water. And no, I didn't tell him about Emma, she says, not looking at me. I didn't ask. You didn't have to. She tips the glass back and drinks almost half of it. It's nearly impossible to hide anything from Beth. She was the first one to even suspect my addiction. I think she knew before me, if that makes any sense. I thought I was just having fun and didn't realize I wasn't, until the chase became my whole life, and the high was just a means to an end. My mother knew next, but it took her longer. Parents have a blind spot for their children. No, I'm overthinking it. I was like, that's another odd line to me, but that's fine. Beth takes a couple of steps toward the kitchen table, eyeing the spirals laid out before me. Find anything interesting? She asks. Interesting isn't the right word, so I'm not sure how to answer her. I'd use that word to describe a new fact I discovered. Like when I learned that 3 days after death, the enzymes that help break down a person's food begin to eat their own body. I thought that was interesting. These journals are different, though, and I don't think there's a word to describe them. No, I say. But some of the pages are missing around that night. Beth raises a brow. Did she tear them out? She must have. I consider offering her a journal to read, but Mom left them to me. I didn't get much, just these in her old car that I'm not sure even runs anymore. If Mom wanted anyone else to read them, she would have split them up, given a third to each of us. But she didn't. So, they're mine. Maybe they're around here somewhere. Beth looks at all the boxes in the living room. Some open, some closed, some empty, some full. Yeah, maybe, I say, stacking up the journals. I need a break from them. I fell asleep reading her words, and when I woke up this morning, I returned to them. Is Michael back? She asks. I shake my head. Should we start without him? Actually, I need to go in for my... I pause, searching for the right word. Treatment? I'm not sure that's the right one either. I'm still taking opiates, synthetic ones, just in smaller doses. The doctor is hopeful that I'll only need it for a year. But I wonder, will I be able to live without the methadone too? Can you take me? I add. I don't want to ask her for help, because I know she grew tired of helping me a year ago. I can't blame her, though. I've always had a tendency to look for the highs in life, even before the car accident. In my 20s, it was weed, alcohol, and cocaine. Whenever I could get my hands on it. But I was functioning until I got a taste for something stronger, much stronger than myself. It was the oxy the doctors prescribed. They kept me on it for far too long, and then they cut me off cold turkey without a plan in place. So I made a plan of my own: get high or die trying. And oh my God, and I almost dead many times. But that didn't stop me. Addiction is like having your arm in a vice. You can't loosen the grip. You can't pull away. You just have to learn to live with it. Addiction has made me do the worst things to the people I love most, Beth being one of them. So, like I said, I can't blame her for no longer wanting to help me, but I can still hate her for it. Maybe that's the addiction talking. I really don't know anymore. Sure, Beth says. Her voice is soft, and the word comes out slow, like she had to force it out. Let me change real quick, she adds. Let me change quick. I wish that applied to more than just outfits. And that was the end of chapter 17. Also, some of the chapters are short and some of them are long. So, we might have like a 1-page chapter and then we might have like a 20-page chapter, you know? But anyway, chapter 18, Beth. The car idles outside of the rundown treatment center. Hi, lawyer. Read, read. Yes, I am read reading. Oh, we just started, so you didn't miss much. You missed a little bit of Nicole's thing, but that's okay. Like, you didn't miss much. Chapter 18, Beth. The car idles outside of the rundown treatment center. At least it's not alien reading. Nicole, yes. Nicole's the drug addict, Beth is the oldest, and Michael is the youngest and the only son. The car idles outside of the rundown treatment center. It sits in a strip mall a couple towns over, positioned between a Dollar General and one of those scammy quick loan places where your interest seems to accrue by the minute. One of the windows has been boarded up with plywood. I assume someone wanted their treatment after hours. The rest of the windows have the shades drawn, providing privacy, or hiding what goes on behind those doors. People far more broken than my sister enter and exit the clouded glass doors. From what I've read online, most of them will relapse. Nicole unbuckles her seatbelt and climbs out of the vehicle. Want me to come with you? I offer. No, I won't be long, she says. You sure? Oh, okay, my bad, lawyer. Sorry, I only ghosted it for like a week. You're fine. I'm pretty sure your memory is a little longer than that. Have faith in your mind. Have faith in your mind. She slams the door shut. Either she didn't hear me or she didn't care to respond. She disappears inside the clinic. I tap my fingers against the steering wheel just to busy them. Keep my mind focused before it strays. There's a light drizzle. Beads of rain hit the windshield, slithering down the glass. I stop when the liquid is depleted. Nothing else to keep the momentum going. I pull out my cell phone and first check my missed calls. I tried calling Marissa last night, but it went to voicemail, and I didn't leave a message. She hasn't returned my call. I check my email next. It's the 9th time I've looked at it this morning. It's all junk, minus an email from HR asking if I have an update as to when I'll return to work from my FMLA leave. There's no reply from my father. He and I used to email back when my parents got a computer for the family. Well, it was mostly for Michael, but we all used it. I remember him telling me it helped with his typing skills. Dad went from pecking to actually having all his fingers on the keyboard. As he improved, his emails got longer. The first couple dozen he sent were only a few sentences in length, but I'm sure they took an hour each. They were riddled with typos, and sometimes I could barely understand what he was trying to tell me. He'd send one in the wee hours of the morning before he left for the factory, and then I'd have to wait until he got home from work to ask him about his cryptic emails. I choked. Yeah, their dad left them. She's like reminiscing. He'd laugh and tell me I'd understand the next one better, and I always did until they stopped. I glanced up at the door leading to the treatment center. Another broken person scurries in, and another exits. It's been 15 minutes. I shut the car off and cautiously get out of the vehicle, clutching my keys in my hand. This isn't a good part of town. Honestly, I don't think there are any good parts in any town. Some areas just hide their indiscretions better. I make my way inside so quickly the rain barely touches me. There's a line of people waiting for their next fix in order to halt the withdrawals. Nicole's not in it, so I cut to the front. A man growls at me. I apologize and tell him I'll be quick. I'm looking for my sister, Nicole Thomas, I say to the woman sitting behind a bulletproof window. She wears a scowl like it's tattooed on her face. I don't blame her, though. This wouldn't be an easy place to work. The woman inputs her name into the computer. She went in for her dose 10 minutes ago, so she should have come out already. Must have left through the back. The woman points to the hallway off to her side. Before I can thank her, she's already yelling, "Next," and shooing me away. I pass by medical staff and patients. Every one of them looks tired, and I don't believe it's from the lack of sleep. I think they're tired of life. Sometimes life gets old before we do. There's a parking lot in the back for the staff. I pull my hood up and scan the area. There she is at the far corner. She's talking with a man. He's tall, towering over my sister, dressed in a rain jacket and dark jeans. Then there's some sort of an exchange. He hands her a large manila envelope. She glances around and quickly shoves it into her bag. "Nicole!" I scream as I run across the lot toward her. My damaged knee throbs, but I ignore the pain. Her head snaps in my direction, eyes wide. The man turns to look at me and then moves to the side, so he's standing next to Nicole rather than in front of her. "What the hell are you doing?" I yell at her the same way Mom used to whenever she came home late from curfew. I don't even look at the man. He's insignificant. Just a bridge to her addiction. "Are you fucking using again?" "What? No!" she says vehemently. Her eyes are wild and her jaw moves from side to side. I grab at her bag. She tries to fight me, swinging aimlessly with her arm that's cocooned in a fiberglass cast. But I'm bigger and stronger. Nearly a decade of drug use has made both her mind and her body weak. "Then what the hell is this?" I snatch the manila envelope from inside her bag and hold it up. It's thick and heavy. "Give that back to me," she yells, reaching for it, trying to swipe it away. "What is it, Nicole?" "It's the goddamn case file for Emma Harper's disappearance." She huffs. Her fleshy lids narrow, hiding those green eyes that have clouded over the years. She reaches for it again, but this time I let her take it from my hand. I take a step back and finally look at the man standing next to her. I recognize him immediately. Casey Doon. He was a grade below me and a grade above Nicole. They were friends in high school. Just friends. But everyone knew there was something more between them. They just never figured it out. The two of them bonded over their love for the written word. I was surprised when he went on to become a deputy for the Walworth County Sheriff's Office. I'm sure he's much higher up now. But I always figured he'd be an English professor or a writer or something like that. I thought the same for Nicole, but obviously she took a very different path than anyone expected. We all did. "Hey, Beth," he says. His voice is deep, and there's an air of authority behind it. He's not that skinny little teenage boy anymore. He's filled out now, with wide shoulders and a thick neck. His face is clean-shaven, free of the acne that speckled it in high school, and he's traded in that shaggy hair for a buzz cut. I deliver a tight smile. "Nice to see you, Casey." What a bitch. Sorry. Come on, Beth. You're gonna yell at your sister for using in front of a fucking cop, by the way, who's trying to help you guys, and then just act like nothing fucking happened? Alright. I see you. Nicole crosses her arms in front of her chest and juts out her bony hip. Sorry isn't enough for her. But of course that's where my mind went. Why else would she be meeting someone in the back parking lot of a methadone clinic? How have you been? Casey asks. I mean, never mind. That was a stupid question. He rubs his brow and mutters, I'm sorry about your mom. It's not a stupid question, though. It's what people ask. And the answer is always fine, or good, because no one wants to actually hear how you're doing. Thanks. I folded my lips. Are you still with the Walworth County Sheriff's Office? He nods. Yep, going on nearly 20 years. I'm actually in the Detective Bureau now. My eyes flicked to Nicole for a moment. She and Michael fought me on telling anyone about the tape, and now she's going out of her way to uncover what happened. I wonder if Casey finds it suspicious that she's interested in the case after all these years. What did she tell him? What reason did she give him for wanting that information? Congrats, I say, though I'm not even sure that's the right thing to say. My gaze bounces back and forth between Nicole and Casey. It's like we're in a standoff, but no one has a gun. Well, actually, there's probably one hiding beneath Casey's raincoat, tucked in the waist of his jeans, or nestled in a holster. But, in this case, the gun is the truth, and only Nicole and I are holding it. Are you done? Nicole directs her question at me. Her tone is full of attitude, and she taps her foot against the pavement. What's with the case file? I need to know how she convinced him to swipe it. Nicole messaged me, asking if I had access to it, and if I could get it for her. Casey starts to explain, but Nicole interrupts. Yeah, for the true crime book I'm writing about Emma Harper's disappearance. Remember, Beth? Way to be obvious, guys. Just saying. if I was a detective, he seems like a very skilled detective, and I was listening to this conversation, I'd be like, what the fuck are you bitches on? Because this does not sound like normal. This doesn't sound normal. I would be like, okay, all right. She raises an eyebrow, her way of telling me to go along with her story. Oh, yeah, that. I thought it was just an idea. I didn't know you were serious about it. My words weave together, forming a somewhat convincing lie. I glance at Casey. His face is unchanged, so I think he's buying it. He's not fucking buying it, bitches. He's clocked your guys' shit. I guarantee it. Now you know. Nicole cocks her head. Oh, that's funny. It says Casey clears his throat. I didn't mean to, do it. I was actually, my throat is itchy, so I was, trying to, cough. Anyway, Casey clears his throat. It's great that you're doing that. Obviously, we were teens when she disappeared, but I always thought it was sad that they never found out what happened to her, he says. Things like buttons and keys go missing. People shouldn't. He shakes his head, then gestures to the envelope. At one point in time, that was the most important case file in this country. Now, no one even noticed me taking it. It's like a toy. A child's lost interest. It's like a toy a child's lost interest in. We stand there in silence, unsure of what to say. It's true. The case went cold after the first year. People forgot. Children played in the streets past dark again. It was like it never happened. Casey pushes his sleeve up to check the time. I've got to get going, he says to Nicole. It was good seeing you, Beth. Likewise. And Nicole, his eyes swing to her and his face softens. Let me know if you need anything else. I mean, anything. I'm here. Nicole smiles. Thanks, Casey. Oh, he's down bad for her. Okay, so maybe he didn't realize what's happening then. Because if he's down bad for Nicole, you know what they say, love is blinding and whatnot, yada yada. She leaves unsaid the words I know she wants to say. I'll text you. He nods and heads to his vehicle. I don't say anything until he's out of earshot. You could have just told me, Nicole. I don't have to tell you anything, she says, stomping back toward the treatment center. I do too, because one, he's a detective. I know he's known these chicks since preschool, but you're a detective. You aren't that connected to the family anymore. Something's gotta because if I was listening to this conversation, and that's just me, normal person, whatever, whatnot, and I'm listening to them and I'm watching them interact with each other, I'm be like, something is fucking up with these bitches. What are you guys doing? Nicole's always been that way, closed off. almost snaky. She's lied for so long about her addiction and the things she's done that I don't think she knows where the truth starts and ends. And that was the end of chapter 18. Okay, so we all know it. Best bitch, best bitch. Casey sounds like a hunk, but he might be a stupid hunk if he's not, like, secretly catching on to the fact that they're fucking investigating shit. Nicole, I like her sometimes and then sometimes I don't. But I think that's how she's supposed to be. Like, you're supposed to, like, one, feel bad for her and also, like, sympathize for her and, like, try and understand her. But then sometimes, like, she has those, like, flare-up moments where she's, like, just a real bitch. Like Beth. That runs in the family, I'm sure. But Nicole better. Oh, yeah. Nicole's better than Beth. Nicole is better than Beth. Everyone is better than Beth. Because Beth is just... Well, she's a dumb bitch, first of all. And she's trying to bang the brother of the sister who she thinks her dad killed. So, you know... I hope the one sister gets better. I can't imagine what fighting addiction really feels. I hope, like, by the end of it, like, we get, like, a happy ending or something where it's like, oh, she, like, became a super successful writer or something, you know? I hope for that, too, honestly. Anyway, chapter 19, we are in Laura's perspective, which Laura, if you remember, is the mom. So we're in the past now, which it tells me in, like, the very first line. But yes, we're back in the mom's POV. Here we go. Also, I wonder how Nicole looks because years of addiction really messes up the... Well, it described it. They were like, she's the middle child, and she's supposed to look younger than, like, Beth, right? But apparently she looks older than Beth, and Beth already looks kind of old, so... They're all, like, late 30s, early 40s, I think is what they said in the book. They're, like, all older, so... They find the typewriter she sold, and it's a key part trust. You think so? I believe that. I'm surprised you remember that, because I forgot about the typewriter. Holy shit. See? You do have good memory, lawyer. You do have good memory. Trust yourself. Because I didn't even fucking remember that part, but... Anyway, chapter 19. Laura. June 15th, 1999. There's a knock at the front door. It's frantic, and I know immediately something is very wrong. My eyes go to Nicole, who is on the couch writing in her journal. Michael and Beth are laying on the floor, bellies down, elbows propped up, playing Zombies Ate My Neighbors on Sega. Brian is seated in his recliner, half watching the video game, half reading the newspaper open in his lap. It's after 8 p.m., and my family is all accounted for. My mind always goes there. Always. I set my book down and jump to my seat. If it's Christy, tell her I'm not home. Beth calls over her shoulder. See, they keep mentioning this fucking Christy chick. Okay, they keep mentioning her. Like, it's such a random, like, background character. But they keep mentioning her, so I feel like she's, like, an important part of the story, you know? Beth calls over her shoulder, never taking her eyes off the TV screen. I groan at her teenage callousness as I make my way to the front door. The knocking continues, harder and faster. I swing it open to find Susan standing on the other side. Her face is a crumpled, wet mess, and her bottom lip trembles. Susan, what's going on? Are you okay? Emma's missing, she cries. Have you seen her? Is she here? Her voice comes out like the knocks on the door, hard and fast and frantic. Pocket with the bulletin board and the red string with his background character. No, you don't even know, because usually when I read by myself, right, when I'm reading books, I have a whole, like, sticky note kit. And I will literally go throughout the whole book and, like, sticky note, like, important parts or parts that I think stand out or characters that I think stand out. And yeah, it's real bad. And, like, for each chapter, I write, like, a little summary, like, note on the thing. Oh, my, whatever. Okay, whatever. Anyway. What do you mean? No, she's not here. She lets out a howl of a cry. Eddie and I can't find her. I pull Susan in for a hug and hold her tightly. A missing child is every parent's worst nightmare, and although it's not happening to me, I'm terrified. What is it? Brian's voice calls out. I glance over my shoulder to find him standing behind me with a look of bewilderment. They can't find Emma. Suddenly, I'm crying too. Brian shoves his feet into his work boots, foregoing lacing them up, and grabs the keys to his truck. Did you call the police? Susan lets go of me and nods several times. They're on their way. When was the last time you saw her? He asks. His eyes are slits focusing on Susan, waiting for her response. I don't know. Her voice is basically a whisper. Sometime at the fundraiser? After the sack race, but before the egg toss, I think. Her bike is missing too. She was there, and then I don't know what I assumed. I was so preoccupied with everything. I should have been watching her. I should have never taken my eyes off of her. But Allensgrove is a small town and nothing bad happens here. It's safe. Susan cries harder. Anything can happen anywhere at any time. That's the thought that crosses my mind, but I don't say it out loud. Hi, Wind. Welcome in. That's exactly what I'm doing. I am reading. I'm going to make you feel so many things. It's not your fault, I say instead, rubbing my hand on her shoulder, trying to reassure her, but I know the only comfort will come from bringing Emma home. This is the perfect town where nothing bad ever happens, right? It's like a death flag. You know, in shows where you, like, a character says something and you just know automatically, oh, that motherfucker about to die. That's what she did. That's what she did. Oh, it's a perfect town. Now everyone's gonna fucking die. Anyway. La 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 la. Oh, but I know the only comfort will come from bringing Emma home. We're going to find her. She's probably just out riding her bike. What's going on? Beth asks, standing just behind her father. Her eyes are wide, darting between me and Susan. Nicole and Michael are positioned behind her, giving me the same look. When was the last time any of you saw Emma? I asked. Beth answers first. At the fundraiser? When she won the sack race, Nicole adds. Michael nods. The water balloon toss, he says. Her team got second place. The image of Emma slapping her knee and giggling at her joke of being better than the boys comes to mind. The first blue ribbon pinned to her shirt, the orange mood ring adorning her small finger, and then her sprinting away to compete in another game, determined to win all the contests. Where's Lucas? Beth asks. He's out looking for her, Susan sniffles, trying to compose herself, but it's no use. There is no composure in these situations. Beth slips on her tennis shoes and asks, Where? He went to check this nature trail, Susan says. Can I go? Beth's eyes dart to me. They're almost pleading. I know she wants to comfort Lucas, to be there for him, to help him. They're a package deal. Have been for years. Take Nicole with you and stay together. I mean it. The two of them nod, and within 30 seconds, they're bolting out the door with Nicole trailing behind. I honestly, like this scene, like, I would hate, like, being, like, Susan, like, the mother of this kid that went missing. I would just hate that. That is, like, every parent's nightmare. Your kid just disappearing, and you have no idea where they are, or if they're, like, hurt or in danger, or anything like that. Like, oh my gosh, like, I would just, like, sob. Like, I don't know what I would do in that situation. I just hate that, too. I just hate the thought of that, honestly. I'm going to drive around and see if I spot her, Brian says, planting a quick kiss on the side of my head. He places his hand on Susan's shoulder. We're going to find her. She nods, but the tears still fall. Brian leaves quickly, with Michael following him. Let's go back to your house and wait for the police to arrive, I say to Susan, steering her out the door. She nods again, but I don't think she's listening. I hope Emma is out just riding her bike, and that she'll walk through their door with a smile on her face and some fun stories of her adventures. But something deep in my gut tells me otherwise. And that is the end of chapter 19. Now we're getting into 20. We're back with Beth. So we're getting... I like the fact that it jumps back to, like, the mom's POV and stuff. I think that's pretty interesting because we're also getting to, like, live through that, like, that night, that moment, and, like, with, like, those characters at that time, you know? While also knowing, like, the future, right? I think it's a very interesting concept. Chapter 20, Beth. Nicole hasn't said a word to me the whole ride home. She's mad that I thought she was trying to score drugs. Can she blame me? A memory from a year ago comes to mind. Nicole banging on my door, demanding money. I stood still on the other side, listening to her scream and cry and thrash. A car idled in my driveway. Someone, not a friend, maybe another junkie, had driven her to my house. When I didn't answer, she kicked the door repeatedly, calling me every name in the book, even threatening my life if I didn't give in to her demands. I ignored her because it wasn't her. It was her addiction. Then she picked up one of my flower pots and threw it across the porch. She tossed another one into my front yard. She smashed the wooden rocking chair, a gift Mom had gotten me from a rummage sale, one of the last presents she ever gave me. The minutes stretched on until she finally tired herself out and left in the car she'd arrived in. I didn't see her again until the day our mom died. I blinked several times, leaving the memory in the past, and look over at her. She stares out the passenger side window. I would wonder what she's thinking about, but I already know. The case files rest in her lap. I'm surprised she hasn't started reading through it. I figured she'd be anxious to, but maybe she's scared of what she'll find. We enter the grove, and I turn slowly onto our road. Yeah, turn the page. Up ahead, Michael's car is veering into our driveway. Perfect timing. He's already parked and stepping out of his vehicle when we pull in. Michael delivers a small wave and a smaller smile when he spots us. He swings his messenger bag over his shoulder and grabs a Walmart shopping bag from his back seat. I park my old car next to his and we exit. "Where were you two?" he asks, putting a hand up to his brow to shield his eyes from the sun. "Treatment," Nicole says. "And you?" "Oh," he pauses and appraises her, like he's checking her over. "You good?" She tells him yeah. He doesn't ask about the manila envelope clutched in her hand, and she doesn't offer an explanation for it. He extends the Walmart bag to me. "I picked up a new headlight for you while I was in town. I can install it later if you'd like." I just love Michael. He just really be stepping up, honestly. He's like, the world is falling apart, but you know what? It's okay. We're gonna fix the small stuff first, and then we'll get on to the big fact that our dad probably killed this child. You know? I just like Michael. I just like Michael a lot. Thanks, I say, taking it from him. "You didn't have to do that." "I know, but I wanted to." I'm not falling for Michael, okay? It's hard to see Michael as a full-grown man when he's always been my little brother. I don't know what I was expecting when I saw him again. I wanted to hate him, still do, but he's making it hard. So maybe the only person I actually hate is myself. "Well," I say, gesturing to the house, "shall we get back to work?" My brother and sister nod and follow behind, their shoes shuffling against the concrete. Oh, sorry. I was like, my stomach's growling because I haven't eaten. Well, that's a lie. I ate a peach earlier. But, like, I haven't had, like, dinner yet. Mostly because I couldn't decide what okay, I'm getting off track, actually. Their shoes shuffling against the concrete. I pull open the screen door. The hinges squeak. But then I stop. Something's not right. What the hell? I say, noticing the busted door jamb and splintered wood near the handle. The door is ajar. Just an inch or so. "What? What is it?" Michael asks. "Beth," Nicole says. "Someone broke in." "Move." Michael shuffles me aside so we can enter first. He doesn't say it in a rude way. He's being protective. I just love Michael so much. He pushes the door open slowly, peeks his head in, and pauses to listen before entering. "Should we call the police?" I ask. Neither Nicole nor Michael respond. I creep in behind Michael, despite him motioning for us to stay back. The cupboards and drawers in the kitchen have been pulled open. Items are strewn everywhere, like someone was looking for something. The living room is a bigger mess. All the boxes have been emptied, even the ones we had already sorted through. Michael grabs the broom and wields it like a sword, while he moves the house, room by room. Nicole tiptoes into the living room, letting out a heavy sigh when she sees the mess. "Who would do this?" I ask. "And why?" My eyes flick to the VCR. The tape with the deadly secret is still sitting on top of it, seemingly untouched. Unlike all the others, they're scattered across the floor, mixed in with all of our parents' other belongings. The ladder to the attic creaks as it's pulled open. Then there are footsteps up the ladder and on the floor above. My shoulders tense as I glance at the ceiling. "All clear," Michael yells. I exhale. The ceiling creaks and moans as he makes his way through the attic and back down the ladder. Ooh. It closes, smacking back into place with a thud. "What about the other rooms?" I ask as Michael enters the living room. He lets out a heavy sigh, then leans the broom against the wall. "They were ransacked too." "Is anything missing?" I ask. "I don't know. I can't tell because they tore this place apart, and I'm not even sure what's all in here." Nicole is frozen in place, picking at the plaster on her cast, staring off at nothing. "Should we call the police?" I ask again. "Yeah, probably, just in case anything was taken," Michael says with a shrug. I shake my head. I don't understand who would do this. "What if someone knows?" Nicole asks, still staring off. She snaps out of it, the gravity of the situation pulling her back to us. She looks to me and then Michael. "About Emma and what Mom and Dad did." "Why would they ransack the house? Wouldn't they just go to the police?" I furrow my brow. Michael nods in agreement. Oh, it could be the dad, because they don't know if he's alive or not. Oh, smart thinking, yeah. Michael nods in agreement. Maybe they were looking for evidence, or maybe this was a warning. My eyes dart to the tape placed on top of the VCR. If that was the case, the evidence is right there, and they missed it. Then again, we would have too if we hadn't randomly picked that particular tape and watched it. But how would anyone know? Michael squints. What if Mom, evil missing dad lives in the walls now? We don't talk about no. Sorry. What if Mom had something set up? A failsafe for when she passed, like someone would be alerted as to what she and Dad did. The pages in her journal from that time are missing. Maybe she tore them out and sent them to someone. Told them to wait to open it until after she died, Nicole says. The words come slowly, like she's trying to piece together a theory as she speaks. You really think Mom is capable of that? A grand, fail-safe plan in the event of her death? Michael asks. She hired a lawyer and put together a will without me even knowing, I say, clinging to Nicole's theory. And she hid the money you wired to her, Michael. Beth had no idea she had another checking account, Nicole adds. Michael rubs his forehead. But who would she tell? Susan, Nicole offers. She's too feeble to do something like this, he says, gesturing to the ransacked room. Lucas? Nicole looks to me. He would never do this, I say. Michael raises a brow. Even if he found out Mom and Dad were involved in his sister's disappearance? I close my eyes for the cop. Well, that would be a little too fast, I think, for the cop. I close my eyes for a second. I can't say he wouldn't, because I don't know what he would do if he knew the truth. They say the truth will set you free, but they don't tell you it can set you free in the same way death does. Okay, who else is there? Nicole asks. Mom's final words echo in my head. Your father. He didn't disappear. Don't trust. I swallow hard, pushing them down again. Maybe she wasn't trying to tell me what happened. Maybe she was trying to warn me because she had already told someone or had plans to, and she knew they'd come looking for answers. Maybe someone from the Grove? Like who? Shoot down my theories, why don't you? Sorry. Maybe she was trying to warn me because she had already told someone or had plans to, and she knew they'd come looking for answers. Maybe someone from the Grove? Like who? Michael tilts his head. I don't know, but whoever it is, do you think they'll come back again? I ask. If they didn't find what they were looking for, I'm sure they will, he says. What do we do then? The color from Nicole's face has drained, and I'm not sure if it's from the methadone or fear. I mean, they live on Grove Street, so I don't know. I got Dad's pistol, Michael says with a serious look. It was one of the boxes Mom left to me. Luckily, I had already stowed it away for safekeeping, so whoever broke in didn't find it. And if they come back, well, they'll wish they hadn't. You're not actually going to shoot someone, Michael, I scoff. I would if I had to. I don't question him again, because I believe him. I hope it doesn't come to that. I'd like to say this was just a random burglary, but that doesn't happen in a town this size. Everything that happens here happens for a reason. I know, I'm a fucking Beth. Fuck you, Beth. The sound of something thudding against the hardwood floor steals our attention. Nicole bends down to pick up the fat manila envelope that slipped from her hand. What's that? Michael asked. She holds it against her chest. A guilty look slithers across her face. I know he's not going to like what she's about to tell him. I didn't like it either. Her actions were careless and messy, even more so now with the break-in. Emma Harper's case file, she says. Michael blows out his cheeks. Where'd you get it? From a friend, she shrugs, trying to act nonchalant. Why? He asks. You said if we didn't find anything, then we wouldn't tell anyone. But we can't find anything if we don't look, Nicole argues. Maybe the cop is Usain Bolt and he ran real fast. I'll trust your theory. Sure, we'll go with that theory. No, where was I? She was fine leaving the past in the past yesterday, so it wouldn't tarnish her reputation. I'm not sure where the change of heart came from. Perhaps it finally sank in that there wasn't anything left to tarnish. Damn, Beth, what a bitch. I meant find something here, he gestured to our parents' belongings scattered across the floor. Not playing Nancy Drew and stealing files from the police station. I didn't steal anything. Did your friend steal it? Michael makes air quotations around the word friend. He borrowed it, she says, raising her chin. Oh, I didn't realize the police had a library system for their unsolved case files. He rolls his eyes and starts off toward the kitchen. Fridge opens, glass clinks against glass, and a moment later he returns with a bottle of Miller Lite perched to his lips. He swigs nearly half of it. Michael's been gone a long time and isn't used to dealing with someone like Nicole. She does things the way she wants. Sometimes you gotta give her an inch, but make sure to reel her back in before she takes a mile. Okay, all my theories are impossible. Cop doesn't fit timeline, father's too old. Yeah. Oh yeah, the father would be old as shit. Yeah, you're right about that. I didn't think about that. Since we already have the case file, it doesn't hurt to look it over. I offer, knowing that it'll keep Nicole occupied. And what if someone notices it missing? Michael asks. They won't, Nicole says. But if they do... Case files go missing all the time, she says. Michael furrows his brows. How would you know that? I've seen a lot of police procedural shows. This isn't an episode of NCIS, Nicole. This is real life, and it has real consequences, he lectures. I know that. I'm not stupid. Well, you're acting like it. He shakes his head. Oh, piss off, Michael. Oh my god, these siblings fight like all the fucking time. Jesus. At this point, no one's gonna figure out who the fuck killed the kid, because they're all fighting all the time. Oh, piss off, Michael. Just because you went to some fancy college and work at some fancy tech firm doesn't mean you're smarter than me. So stop pretending like you are. She narrows her eyes at him. I don't have to pretend, Nicole. Ooh, ooh. He drinks his beer and turns his back to her, walking further into the living room, careful not to step on anything. Nicole's face is flushed and her hands make a fist. That was a pretty good one, though. I will admit, that was a pretty good one. My phone dings and I retrieve it from my back pocket to check the notification. When Nicole can't contain her anger anymore, she marches toward him. You know what, Michael? I'm so sick of your... Oh my god, I cry out. Nicole stops mid-rant and snaps her head in my direction. What? What is it? Beth? Michael says, drawing his brows together. It's Dad, I say. He's alive. This is an email from the father. It says, from brianthomas1@yahoo.com to elizabeth.thomas3@yahoo.com. Subject, long overdue. Beth, I'm sorry I haven't written in so long. Trust me, it was for the best that I stayed away. There are things I've done that... Hey, kiddos, don't touch that table, right? Yeah, that's what he's trying to say. There are things I've done that I'm not proud of. Unspeakable things. But know that not a day has gone by that I don't think about you, Nicole, Michael, and my Laura. I can't believe she's gone, and I'm so sorry I can't be there for you all right now. I wish I could have been a better father, grandfather, and husband. But sometimes we're not the people we want to be. We just are. I know you worry about me, but don't. I don't think they're that worried about you. I think they're kind of pissed that you've been gone, so... But don't. I am safe, I am well, and I'm closer than you think I am. Give Michael and Nicole my love, and please forget about me, because I am not a man worth remembering. Love, Dad. I think he may have overestimated their feelings for him. Also, that was the end of chapter 20. Wait, he's in the walls! Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, honestly... Yeah, you're so right about that. Honestly, we're gonna go with that theory from now on. Oh my gosh. I'm like looking... How many... Oh gosh, okay. Chapter 21. Beth. I've always wanted Dad to write back to me, and now that he has, I wish he hadn't. I'm not sure why I ever thought I needed his words to begin with. Everything he had to say, he said when he walked out of our lives 7 years ago. Michael sits on the other side of the couch with a fresh beer in hand, rotating it as if he's actually reading the label. I'm not sure if he usually drinks this much, or if this is out of the ordinary for him. Then again, grief is like an airport. There are no rules or social norms. You just do what you gotta do to pass the time until you reach your next destination. Nicole clutches my phone in her hand. Her brows are knitted together as she rereads the email over and over again. Why would he write you now after all these years? She asks. Because Mom passed, I say. That had to be the only reason why he'd choose to respond now. All of my other emails went unanswered. Michael lifts his beer bottle and swigs. Or he knew we found out. How? I look to Michael and then Nicole. She lifts her head. Maybe he thought Mom told us? I swallow hard as my mother's words return to me. Your father. He didn't disappear. Don't trust. Michael raises a brow. Mom didn't say anything to you before she passed. Did she? He's staring at me. Nicole is too now. No. I lie again. This bitch. I don't know why I don't just come out and tell them. I don't know why either. Just fucking tell them. Like, what is it gonna do if you don't tell them, okay? They weren't here. They knew she was dying. Oh my god, it's because she's being fucking petty, that's why. They could know this information, and maybe they know something, but the fact that she's keeping it because she's being fucking petty... They knew she was dying, and they still didn't come. So, they don't deserve Mom's last words. A line from Dad's email jumps to the front of my line. I'm closer than you think I am. Dad didn't say anything, right? Nope, never did that. Yeah, literally. I'm closer than you think I am. It's creepy. Or maybe it isn't. I don't know. The police figured he fled to Mexico given where his truck was found. A little over 10 miles from the border. Now I'm not so sure. Mom's words echo in my head. He didn't disappear. And then Dad's. I'm closer than you think I am. Maybe she knew he'd reached out after she passed. Maybe Mom was the one that kept him away. He fled to the walls of the house. Jesus. I tried to think back to when he left. I remember Mom coming to terms with the fact that he was gone rather quickly. She always tried to get me to stop looking for him and would say things like, if he wanted to be here, he would. It wasn't like when Emma went missing. Susan, Eddie, and Lucas held out hope that she would return. They never stopped looking for her. The Mom stopped looking for Dad. Maybe because she knew exactly where he was this whole time, and she wanted him to stay there. My eyes dart between Michael and Nicole again. She did say one thing. The words fall out of my mouth. I only say it because I don't think I can figure it out on my own. Perhaps they can help solve Mom's riddle and Dad's cryptic email. Michael's smart. He's always been the brains of the family. And Nicole sees things through a different lens, like the world is presented uniquely to her. If I put an apple in front of her face and asked her to describe it, she wouldn't say it was red or shiny or round. She'd tell me about its natural wax, the layer of protection that slows down its decay. She'd point out a weak spot, perhaps discoloration or a bruised, mushy area caused by impacts or too much compression. By the end, she wouldn't even be describing the apple anymore. Michael leans forward in his seat, squaring up with me in a way. What did she tell you? Hold on, I'm flipping the page. Nicole pursed her lips, holding in the words she clearly wants to yell at me. She crosses one leg over the other and bounces her foot, showing how little patience she has for me. They're waiting for me to say more, to admit that I lied to them, and to reveal what exactly I lied to them about. This undercurrent is why we can't trust each other. She said Dad didn't disappear. I leave out the don't trust part, and I don't know why I do. Maybe I want to keep it for myself, something just for me. Or maybe I don't want to lose hope that my dad is a good man. Why wouldn't you tell us that? Michael scoffs. What else did she say? Nothing. That was it. I lie again. The more you lie, the easier it becomes. Nicole tilts her head in an accusatory way. How do we know you're telling the truth? She's good at... How do we know you're telling the truth? She's good at catching a lie. Because she does it all the time. Lying, I mean. Me. Yeah, literally. Why would I? She shoots a glare at me. Why would you lie about Mom saying something to you in the first place? I don't know. I just didn't understand what Mom meant, so I thought it was nothing. My words come out choppy and unconvincing. I always knew it was meaningful. People don't use their last breaths on People don't use their last breaths on worthless words. Michael leans back in his seat and sips his beer. Well, clearly it meant something. He appears nonchalant, but I can practically see his brain working overtime, trying to put the pieces together. When I die, I will say cheese don't eat the... Love that. Nicole squints in concentration. She wants to be the one that figures this out. When you have nothing, you have everything to prove. Yeah, but what? I ask. With the email from Dad, it seems like she was warning me. Like she knew he'd come back. Wait, can't you track an email? Nicole asks. Like an IP address or something. She glances at me, but I don't have the answer. And then we both look at Michael. Sometimes, yeah, he says. Well, do that. His email said he's closer than we think. Nicole practically jumps from her seat. Michael furrows his brow. And what, we're just supposed to go find him? Why not? I mean, if he's close, we may as well. Nicole hands the phone to him. Don't trust. Do I tell them Mom's warning? No, I can't. I don't know who she was referring to. Don't trust Dad? Don't trust anyone? I've already lied to them twice. I can't just be like, well, Mom actually said a little more. So I kept my mouth shut. They're not going to find him anyway. I spent years searching, turning over every rock, and still came up empty-handed. I know, I like Michael too. He knows how to not be a dumbass. Literally. He is the smartest of the family, so. Where was I? Please, Nicole begs. Her eyes develop a sheen. Michael looks to me, but I offer nothing. His gaze falls on Nicole. She's good at getting her way, and he's not used to telling her no. It took me years to finally say no to her, because saying that to an addict takes practice. Finally, he lets out a huff and gets up from his seat, heading toward the hallway. Where are you going? She calls after him. I'm getting my laptop. Her face lights up. I knew he wouldn't be able to say no to her, though I think he should have. False hope is the worst kind of hope. I can't believe it. I can't believe we're close to finding Dad, she says. I can't believe it either, because I know it can't be true. Yeah, is all I'm able to muster up. Aren't you excited, or at least relieved? She asks. Even if we find him, it wouldn't change anything. But he could tell us what happened to Emma, and he could be in our lives again. What if... I pause, not wanting to say the words, but feeling I need to. Especially with Mom's warning rolling around my brain like a ball in a pinball machine. What if he's dangerous? She snaps her head back. Her eyes go wide. How could you even think that? What? Yeah, literally, what if? Because he's been gone a long time, and I don't know him anymore. The Dad I knew wouldn't walk out on Mom after over 30 years of marriage. He wouldn't walk out on his kids. He wouldn't not be in his granddaughter's life. He wouldn't show up after 7 years via fucking cryptic email. I don't know who sent that email, but it didn't come from the Dad I knew. Nicole's eyes well up. You give up on people so easily. I know she's not talking about Dad. Before I can respond and yell at her and ask her how dare she say something like that to me, Michael walks into the living room with his laptop in hand. I was the one that was there for Nicole. I gave her money. I gave her food. I gave her clothes. And I gave her a place to stay until I couldn't trust sleeping under the same roof as her anymore. He pauses for a moment. Am I interrupting something? I cross my arms over my chest and shake my head. No, just see if you can find out where the email was sent from, Nicole says. What the fuck? Michael? I don't know. Was I trying to say Nicole and Michael? Michael takes a seat and flips open his laptop. Forward the email to me, he says, and then he rattles off his email address. Nicole presses several buttons on my phone. Done. She tosses it back to me. Her eyes have lost their sheen and are now clouded with a mix of anger and hope. The former directed at me. The problem with Nicole is she doesn't remember the past 7 or so years. For her, it's like Dad left yesterday, because her addiction has stolen so many of her memories. I noticed it first. The addiction. She was prescribed oxycodone after getting into a car accident back in 2015. The sad thing is, she was driving around looking for Dad when it happened. Another car T-boned her, leaving her in critical condition, and she spent nearly a year healing via meds, physical therapy, and hope. But when the pain finally went away, the addiction took its place. She convinced the doctor her body still needed the meds, but really, it was her brain that craved them. Hi, Odd House. Welcome in. We're currently reading Home is Where the Bodies Are. We're in chapter 21. It's getting real spicy here. They're researching more about the girl's death and whatnot, and their dad just emailed them after like 7 years of disappearing. So, Michael's fingers are fast and furious as they tap against the keyboard. I'm sure Nicole and I have melted away as he's laser focused on his computer screen. Nicole stares, waiting for the answer to the question she's been asking herself for years. Where's Dad? Got it, Michael finally says, lifting his head. Where is he? Nicole asks. She's ready to run out the door and find our missing father. Judah, Wisconsin, about an hour west of here. Can you tell exactly where he sent it from? Her eyes seemed to brighten. Not always, but I pulled the latitude and longitude for the IP address and cross-checked it with the Google Maps. There's only one house within a 3-mile radius, so it's got to be that one. And it was sent via a private internet connection. Nicole tilts her head. What's that mean? Meaning he wasn't at a Starbucks or a library or some other business. Let's go then. Let's find him. She smiles, like Dad's location as X marks a spot on a treasure map. I feel so sorry for her. Even if she finds him, finds exactly what she's looking for, he won't be the father she remembers. He just can't be. Literally just have to watch a YouTube tutorial. It's not that advanced hacker to know. It's not that advanced hacker to know how to do that. Yes. Honestly, like, I feel like hacking is such, like, a very, like, cool thing, but also I just would not be able to do it. Because I know they have, like, what, like, FBI, like, hackers, like, people who work for the FBI that, like, hack into things and whatnot. Or maybe that's just, like, me thinking about TV shows. But anyway. Where was it? Oh. Michael looks to me. I think he's expecting me to be on board, to jump for joy like Nicole practically is. But I'm not. Dad has disappointed me far too many times, and I can't do it anymore. I'm not going, I say. Her smile fades and a scowl replaces it. What do you mean you're not going? I mean I'm not going. Don't you want to find him? Nicole eyes me cautiously. No, I don't. Why? She asks. I just don't. I'm not going to explain myself to her because she wouldn't understand anyway. She shakes her head. Man, these siblings do not know how to communicate. Holy shit. She shakes her head as if I'll change my mind and jump up and join her. But I won't. I lost everything looking for him. Even though there's nothing else for me to lose, I'm not willing to gamble it for a sliver of hope. She looks to Michael. He raises his shoulders slightly and drops them. A weak shrug. Michael, she says. Her voice is meek and soft. He closes his laptop, pausing before he answers. I don't think either of us know what he's going to say. He's always held his cards close. All right, I'll drive. Her lips curve into a smile, and she bolts toward the front door. It brings me back to when we were kids, and Mom would call out Dad's home on Friday nights. We'd be so excited, and we all come running to greet him. Only one of us is running to him now, and that's only because she's running away from everything else. Michael stands from his seat and tilts his chin. Are you sure you don't want to come, Beth? I'm sure, I say. But I do hope you find him. Will you be fine here on your own, given the break-in? His eyes scan the living room and then land back on me. Twitch loves to self-advertise so much they just give me 15-second Twitch ads. That's crazy. Yikes. Yeah. Michael nods, accepting my answer. I can't tell if he's disappointed in my response, if he understands it, or if he's happy that I took a stance. He leaves the house without another word, and that silence is exactly what I need. And that was the end of chapter 21. And now we get to be in Nicole's POV. Finally, a break from fucking Beth. But no, I kind of get Beth needing like space and stuff, and her being like, no, I don't want to see the father that abandoned us. Honestly, hi Chichin, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. We're currently in the middle of reading Home is Where the Bodies Are. It's a murder mystery. If you guys are interested in reading it, I would not listen right now. No, you're fine. We just finished a chapter, so I'm like in that pause moment anyway. He's in the walls. He's in the goddamn walls. But also, it's like a murder mystery, so if you want to read it yourself and you don't want to be spoiled, that's completely, that's like so understandable. Like, you don't have to stay and listen. But if you're just looking for like some white noise, or if you're like genuinely interested, because it is a very good book, then you're more than welcome to stay. Right now we're like at the part where the three siblings, well, two of them, Nicole and Michael, are going to find their father that's been missing for 7 years. The biggest theory that my travelers had was that the father was living in the walls. He's not. He's living in a house that's in Wichita. Wisconsin. In Wisconsin. So yeah, that's where they're heading to. But yes, we're going into chapter 22, so all of you just joining, if you have other things to do, go ahead and go do that. If you want to stick around, that's also freaking awesome. But yeah, get cozy. and listen in. Also, I do like to comment while I'm reading, so if I stop and suddenly rant about something, yeah, that's why. So that he could get food from the fridge. Yes, it's a Bruno situation. Yeah, for real. Yeah, the email was bait. Was good. Won the first set. Then got my ask. Oh yes, that's right. You opened some new cards, right? And you played Magic, right? Hell yeah. Plot twist. It's Austin Powers. Well, yeah. Hopefully your stream went well, Chi-Chin. Also, I'm very like, I'm starting to get to that point in the night where my throat is just giving up on me. It's like, you've been talking too much. We played Jumpstart, where you crack 2 theme packs and put them together and play a game against each other. Oh, I have no idea like how that goes, but that sounds really fun actually. Is it like where you crack 2 theme packs and put them together and then play a game against each other. Okay, so I think I kind of get it. Might be a good way to teach you, honestly, is 1v1. I was gonna say, that sounds really fun. I was so surprised when Chugi, another streamer I watch, had a collab with Chi-Chin. Oh, I wanted to watch part of that, but then when I like realized you were streaming, I was like, oh shit, I gotta stream. So, but I'll go back and watch the VOD because I want to see how that's played. Basically, 2 packs of monocolor packs that you put together to make a deck. I see. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, I'm gonna go on to chapter 22 because we have about like 40 minutes left of the stream, and I'm trying to make it at least. Oh, we are actually a little past halfway now. Actually, I was like, I want to make it to halfway at least, but we are halfway. So, anyway, chapter 22. Nicole. Sorry. Michael's rental car. Also, I've been like lisping real bad. Not lisping, but like tumbling over my words real bad. So it's been a fun night. Also, beginning of stream, I had been messing with my voice mod before I streamed. Well, like earlier in the day, not before I streamed. And I forgot to change it back, and it was not my greatest moment. But anyway, Michael's rental car drives smoothly, absorbing the shock from bumpy roads and streets riddled with potholes. I think that's how his life has been too, equivalent to a ride in a luxury vehicle, untouchable from the ups and downs of existence. I haven't owned a car in a while, but I did have an old Toyota Camry, before I couldn't afford the insurance or even the gas in the tank. And I remember the drives were never smooth. His hands rest on the bottom of the steering wheel while his other lies in his lap. There's no tension, no worry, nothing. Ah, there's an ad! There was a fucking ad. Hold on. Where is it? Oh. Is it going? Maybe? There it is. Got it. I was like, why did the rain suddenly stop? It's because there was a fucking ad. Where was I? Fuck, I lost where I was because I panicked. Oh. His hands rest on the bottom of the steering wheel while his other lies in his lap. There's no tension, no worry, nothing. It's all very laid back. We're maybe 5 minutes away and we haven't spoken the whole ride. I'm not sure either of us know what to say. What do you say to a person you used to know? It'd be easier to talk to him if I didn't know him at all. Thanks for coming, I finally land on. Michael glances over at me. Of course, I couldn't let you go alone. Somebody you used to know. That's not the right song. I don't remember one. No, I know what song that is. Okay, I need to stop getting distracted. I'm getting real frazzled. Not frazzled, what's the word? No, distracted is the right word, but there's a different word that I wanted to use, and frazzled was not the right. Anyway, Beth could. I briefly meet his gaze before breaking away and looking out the passenger side window. A blur of harvested cornfields and pastures scattered with dairy cows pass by. The sky is a light gray, like a dirty sheet has been pulled over it. It's looked like that since Mom passed. Maybe she took the sunshine with her. I wouldn't take it personally, he says. His eyes are back on the road ahead. Hey, the time stream doesn't maintain itself. Gotta let ads play in the void. How else am I supposed to take it? Did you take it personally when I stopped coming around after Dad went missing? It's the first time he's mentioned his absence. Yes, I say without hesitation. Why? Because we're family and we needed you. Mom didn't. I study his profile. He has Dad's nose and chin, strong and pronounced. His eyes are a mix of both of our parents. Not blue, not green, but hazel. His hair is dark like Dad's with specks of gray, but he keeps it cut short on the sides and a little longer on top. What do you mean, Mom didn't? He clenches his jaw tightly, like he's chewing on the words that he hasn't uttered yet, clasping them with his back molars and deciding whether or not to release them. She told me not to come back, he says. Yeah, why the fuck would she tell you that? That's the next line, by the way. Why would she tell you that? He swallowed hard. His Adam's apple rocks up and down, covering nearly the full length of his neck. Because when she called to tell me about Dad leaving, I said it was probably for the best. Oh, well, shit, if I was your mom, I would have probably said that too. Shit, Michael. Maybe not your brightest moment, bro. Why would you say that to her? Why wouldn't I say that? She said he left a note. That means he chose to leave. And honestly, he and I hadn't been good for a long time. Ever since I moved out to California. He lost interest in my life. I think he resented me for doing more than he ever did, which is pretty fucked up. Our parents pushed us to be the best, but when I did better than Dad, he shut me out. I deliver a sympathetic look, but Michael doesn't see it. His eyes are focused on the road. I didn't know there were issues between him and Dad. I'm sorry, Michael, I say. He shrugs and mutters, thanks. If it makes you feel any better, you get the same treatment if you do worse than your parents, too, I say. What do you mean, he asks. I didn't see Mom in over a year before her death. Why? She told me not to come back, too. Not until I had a chip. A tear escapes the corner of her a tear escapes the corner of my eye. I don't know, I should not be laughing at such an emotional moment, you know. I'm laughing at myself, not at the story. The day she died, I was one day away from getting my chip. The closest I ever was to it. But she passed before I could get it. Before I could see her again. I tried. I really did. I shake my head. But I was too late. I was too fucking late. I say, nearly choking on my words. He sighs. I'm sorry, Nicole. I wipe away my tears in an attempt to compose myself. It makes sense now. My mom donated the money you gave her to the Missing Persons Foundation. He makes a humph sound, mixed with the ha of a laugh. Even in death, she just had to teach me one last lesson. Same here. I almost feel like she knew I was one day away from being clean. So she died on purpose as a way of saying, you should have tried sooner and harder. You really believe that? He asks, raising a brow. I let on a small smile. Not really. He smiles back and slows the car down, turning into a gravel driveway that leads to a ranch-style house. The shutters have fallen off the windows, and several are boarded up. The grass is unkempt, patchy in some areas and overgrown in others. It looks abandoned. I bite at my lower lip. It's chapped and my teeth tear off a sliver of dry skin. My breath changes, switching to short and fast. Michael shuts off the engine. This is it, he says. It looks like no one lives here, which makes it the perfect place to hide out. He raises a brow, opens his door, and gets out of the vehicle. I exit on my side, and our shoes crunch over the gravel as we walk toward the house. Michael knocks on the door, but it's already ajar. The force of his knock pushes it farther open. He pokes his head in and calls out, Hello? The sound echoes throughout the empty home. I force my way past Michael, running into the dark, quiet house. It smells stale and musty. There's an old stained mattress on the living room floor, like someone had been camping out here. Empty food wrappers and cans of soda are scattered around. Cobwebs cling to every corner and light fixture. Mom kind of sounds like she sucked. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the mom. Like, I like the, past mom. I don't know about the present mom, the one that's dead, but, the past version of her seems, better. If that makes sense. Dad, I call out, running room to room, each one emptier than the last. The house repeats Dad each time I yell it, taunting me. I stand in the center of the room at the end of the hall. I'm sure it used to be a bedroom, but without a bed, it's just a room. Closing my eyes, I take several deep breaths, inhaling through my nose and exhaling through my mouth. The craving is strong, stronger than it's been in a long time.
I imagine the tip of the needle disappearing into my skin, pressing down on the plunger, and then that almost instant euphoria, like being bathed in warm honey, feeling everything and nothing at the same time. It's the closest I've gotten to heaven, or at least how I pictured heaven to be. My heart races, my skin tingles and perspires, and then there's a tremble so deep inside of me it starts off small, but I can feel it growing. Nicole, Michael says. Yeah, and Beth sucks. Yeah, that is true. Beth fucking sucks. Are you alright? He asks. You said he'd be here. My voice cracks, exposing my weakness. I'm sorry, Nicole. Tracking IP addresses isn't black and white. They're not always accurate. He could have used a VPN or something else. Michael presses his lips together and looks down at his feet. Every muscle in my face is pulled tight by deep disappointment. It almost feels like a ligament could snap at any moment. Or maybe it will. Or maybe I will. Are you okay to head out now? I shake my head and tell him. I guess. Michael starts down the hallway. Hey, I call out. Mind if we make a pit stop in Beloit? He pauses and turns back. For what? I was staying with a friend at a motel there. Just temporarily until I could find something more permanent. She texted me earlier saying she was leaving and I should come get my stuff, if I still wanted it. It's just some clothes and personal hygiene items and whatnot. She's gonna go fucking use. Michael nods. Yeah, that's not a problem. Thanks, I say, not making eye contact. Because if I do, he'll know I'm lying. Oh, yeah. Yep, Dad just didn't understand data protection, and a homeless man took his computer and sent a message from his email. I mean, possibly. No, but she's... that I think that, like, broke her, being like, oh, we're gonna go see my dad, and then him not being there. Ugh, she's gonna go use again. That's unfortunate. Or maybe she won't. Maybe it'll, like, change. We'll see. Ooh, we get Michael's POV, guys. I'm so excited. How long is his POV? Oh, it's not even that long. That's stupid. Alright. Chapter 23. I pull the car into the parking lot of a run-down place called Motel 5. I think it's supposed to be a joke. One step below a Motel 6. But it's far worse than that. It's a long one-story building offering private entrances for each room. Stop simping. I'm not simping for Michael, okay? Hold on. I do actually... I'm gonna blow my nose real quick, because it'd be ready, and it's making me choke. So, give me 1 minute, and then I'll be right back. And I'm back. Hopefully that'll clear up my sinuses more, so I'm not, like, choking as I'm trying to read. I also opened up my drink. Let me take a sip of it. That was unnecessarily loud. My bad. Where are we? It's a long one-story building offering private entrances for each room. Several window panes are cracked, and the siding has been graffitied. I take the lot slowly, keeping my eyes peeled. People are cramped out and strung out. Some lean against the building. Others are bent over, barely standing. Loud music blares from a couple of idled cars. Beefy men sit in the driver's seat, staring at the motel rooms in front of them like they're security. But I know the only thing they're securing is their illegal activities. I can't believe this is where my sister has been staying. Nicole points to the far left and tells me to park. I do as she says, even though I want to drive off and tell her I'll replace everything she's left here. I love Michael. He's such a sweetheart. I park in front of the last motel room, but keep the engine running. Want me to come in? I ask. Nicole already stepped out of the car. No, I'll just be a minute, she says, slamming the door behind her. I look off to the right, making sure no one is approaching. The strung-out ones couldn't if they tried. Their movements are slow, almost zombie-like. My eyes go to the vehicle parked 20 yards away. The burly man sitting in the driver's seat glances in my direction. He nods, but I know it's not a friendly nod. The motel room door Nicole's standing at opens 6 inches or so, and she quickly slips inside. I sit and wait in silence. The seconds morph into minutes, and then it starts to feel like a long time has passed. But maybe it just feels that way in a place like this. I hear a noise. First a loud thud, then yelling. It's muffled, but is undeniably the sound of anger and fear. What is that fucking word? Helixing? Around one another. Something crashes inside of the motel room. I rip the car door open and sprint towards it. I can hear the words being yelled clearly now. Where's the money, you stupid bitch? I don't have any money. That stupid dead mother of yours didn't have anything valuable in her house either. So the real question is, how are you going to get me my fucking money? I drop my shoulder into the center of the door without even thinking and charge forward. The slam of the knob-piercing drywall puts a punctuation on the room, and for a moment time freezes. A man stares back at me as he hovers over my sister on the bed, one hand around her shirt collar and the other raised in the air with limitless possibilities, all of them bad. Then it's as if someone pressed play on a remote control. The hard sound of a hand slapping across a face, brings us all back into motion. There's no time for words, no reasoning with a man like that. No reasoning with a man like this. The good news is that he looks just as strung out as Nicole at her worst, gaunt, weak, shaking for the fix he has yet to find. My mind goes blank, and I begin to run. I plow through him and send him flying off the bed and into the wall. I run over and grab his collar, just like he was doing to Nicole, and raise my fist, slamming it into his face. First his cheek, then his forehead, then his eye. Then I break his nose, and the blood pours like I turned on a faucet. He gags, spitting blood onto my clothing, and I can only imagine the sick and vile thing swimming around his bodily fluid. I punch again, this time knocking his teeth in. He's barely conscious when I stop. Getting to my feet, I turn to Nicole, who's stricken with fear and shame. My heart is racing, and adrenaline is coursing through my veins. So fast that I don't feel anything at the moment. I'm sure I broke bones in my hand, or at the very least severely bruised it. But nothing registers except the crumpled form of my sister, sobbing on the bed. How much did you owe him? Nicole looks up, bewildered that this is the question I ask first. $500, she manages to choke out through tears and sucking breaths. Breaths, not breasts. Jesus. Ignore me. Nicole looks up. Oh wait, no, I already read that. I reach into my pocket and pull out my wallet. It's a beautiful piece from Hermes, calfskin, handmade in France. It's worth more than the money Nicole owed. It's worth more than the money Nicole owes this piece of shit. I take out a wad of cash and throw it at his battered face. Some of it sticks to the blood that is pooled around his nose and mouth. Here. Now she owes you nothing, I say, crouching down. I put my lips near his ear and whisper, if you come near my sister again, next time I won't stop. You understand? He nods and moans. Good. What a gangster. Oh my god. I stand again and kick him in the ribs, just to make sure he truly understands. It sounds like a child breaking a stick over their knee. He sucks in a high-pitched squeal as he rolls over on his side. I help Nicole and she sobs as we walk out of the motel room, back into the light of the world. Opening the passenger door, I help guide her into her seat. I'm sorry, Michael. I'm so sorry. You have nothing to be sorry for, I reassure him. I'm not strong enough, she sobs. Yes, you are. Nicole lifts her head. Thank you. Her eyes say more than that, and I know exactly what she's thanking me for. Please don't tell Beth about this, she adds. I won't. I close her door, hop in the driver's seat, and put the car in reverse. As I begin to accelerate out the parking lot, I turn to look at the man sitting in the dark SUV. He smiles and lifts his chin. This time, I know it's friendly. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that chapter. I like that he stepped up for his, like, sister, but also, I don't know. I feel like it was just, I mean, yeah, he was, like, mad and stuff, but I feel like he went, like, a little too, like, into it. Like, he leaned into that, and he, like, beat the shit out of that dude. Like, broke his ribs and everything. Like, I don't know. That's just a little off-putting to me. Because, I mean, if you, like, think about it, Michael's been, like, such, like, a good character and stuff. Like, his only flaw is, like, oh, he left home and, like, didn't contact any of his family. Which, yeah, that's, like, pretty bad. But, like, with Nicole, it's, like, she's a drug addict who's struggling to stay sober. And she has, like, dependency issues and all this stuff. And then with Beth, well, she's a bitch, but also her life's a whole fucking mess. Her, like, but I feel like we just don't also know a lot about Michael. I don't know. I still like Michael quite a lot. I like him quite a bit, but this chapter makes me feel a little unnerved. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just thinking too much about it. I don't know. But also this last line. I turn to look at the man sitting in the dark SUV. He smiles and lifts his chin. This time I know it's friendly. I don't know. Okay, anyway, moving on. Chapter 24 of Beth. There we go. Back in Beth's POV. Michael and Nicole had been gone a while, which gave me all afternoon to get most everything in the living room and kitchen cleaned up and put away. Many of the fragile items were destroyed, so I tossed them. Some things you can't fix. I pushed a VHS tape labeled November 1999 into the VCR. It clicks into place and the machine makes a winding noise. The tape is the next one in chronological order after June 15th, 1999. There was a gap, months without a tape, and that made sense. Mom clearly didn't want to capture any of the memories following Emma's disappearance. It also explains why she forgot to record over the clip from that evening. She couldn't face what happened. The screen is gray, static, and then it flicks to blue before an image appears. The date on the bottom right corner reads November 13th, 1999. Michael is seated at the kitchen table. A birthday cake decorated with an edible image of a computer monitor rests in front of him. Across the top of the cake, Happy 13th Birthday, Michael, is styled in green icing like computer code, and there are 13 lit candles surrounding the message. The flames flicker and dance. We haven't celebrated Michael's birthday since he moved to California, and I haven't wished him a happy birthday in years, so it's not something I usually remember, but he'll be 36 next month. On screen, Dad sits next to Michael at the kitchen table, smiling and singing Happy Birthday. There's a little evidence on his face of the horrible things he'd done, but he does appear to have aged a few years in the 5 months since the previous tape. Gray hair peppers his burly beard, and new wrinkles crowd the corners of his eyes. Nicole and I stand on either side of our brother, belting out the same lyrics. Mom isn't in view, so I know she's the one holding the camcorder. She was almost always the one holding the camcorder, which is why hardly any photos or videos of her exist. Strangely, although the microphone is right next to her, it barely picks up the sound of her singing. It's like she's whispering the words, not fully committed to them. When the song finishes, Michael squeezes his eyes shut, conjuring up a wish, and then he extinguishes all the flames with one gust of air. Wax drips down the candles, seeping into the cake. My siblings and I don't waste even a second before we pull the candles and suck the frosting off the ends. "What did you wish for?" Dad asks. "I can't tell you," Michael says. "Oh, come on, you can trust me." Dad forces a laugh and nudges him. The camcorder makes a whirring noise, and the lens zooms in on Dad, closer and closer, until the center of his face fills the whole screen. Although the video is blurry, the intensity in his green eyes is clear as day. The camcorder stays zoomed in on him for a few seconds before the lens retracts, bringing me and my siblings back into frame. "If you tell him, it won't come true," Mom says. Her tone isn't playful, it's serious, but no one seems to notice. Michael jets out his chin. "Yeah, I can't tell you." "You can tell me anything," Dad says with another forced laugh, playfully ruffling Michael's hair. My brother pulls away, flicking his locks back into place. while Dad flashes a smile in Mom's direction. I don't think she returns it, because she quickly averts his attention back to us through asking, "Who wants cake?" "I do," we all say in unison. Dad cuts it into slices and divvies them up. Mom declines. No one notices. She keeps the camera focused, so all of us are in the shot. It seems like a birthday celebration that any other family would have, and I don't remember noticing anything out of the ordinary that day. But that's because I was seeing it through my eyes, not Mom's. The camcorder whirs as the lens zoom in again. First, it's on me. My face, oh, I see that there is a lag. Anyway, my face fills the screen as I shove a forkful of white birthday cake into my mouth. My skin is youthful and glowing, slightly tanned from the sun. Then it's Nicole's turn. She fills the frame. Her skin is oily with a smattering of teen acne. She wouldn't notice it, though, unless you were standing an inch from her, because, You wouldn't notice it, though, unless you were standing an inch away from her, because it's those big green eyes that grab your attention and never let go. The camcorder moves to Michael. Frosting clings to his top lip, and he smiles wide, swiveling his head to flick the shaggy brown hair out of his eyes. Then it's on Dad again, and it lingers on him far longer than the rest of us. All I see is Dad on screen. Nothing out of the ordinary, but it's clear Mom sees something different. Perhaps the facade he's putting on. There's nothing typical about this home videotape or how it was filmed. Mom wasn't capturing the moment. She was studying us. "Can I open my presents now?" Michael asks. His tone is high-pitched because puberty hasn't set in yet. "Laura, is it present time yet? Or is it present time?" Dad says to Mom, giving her a strained look. He doesn't realize the camcorder is only on him. The lens zooms out slowly, and we're all back on screen again. "Sure," Mom says. Her voice lacks enthusiasm. No one notices. Michael claps his hands and pushes his plate to the side, freeing up the space in front of him. "Hold on." Dad backs his chair out and stands from the table, walking toward Mom. "Michael's going to flip over this. Make sure you get his reaction," he whispers to her before leaving the room. Mom says nothing. A few moments later, Dad appears back on screen, carrying a large wrapped box. This is from the whole family," he says, placing the gift on the table and beaming at his son. "The whole family?" Nicole laughs. "I call him a yo-yo. I don't know anything about this huge present." It's true. Nicole and I didn't know what was in the box. Michael tears through the wrapping paper, revealing a compact Prosignia desktop computer. Or at least that's what it says on the side of the cardboard box. He squeals and a string of words fly out of his mouth. "Awesome! This is the bomb! I can't believe it! This is for me? Thank you, Mom and Dad! I love it so much!" He rotates the box, taking it all in. "I hope this means I'm getting a car for my birthday," younger me says, her eyes darting to Dad and then directly at the camcorder. Hold on, just 1 minute. Hold up. One momento. One momento. Do. Okay, there we go. I forgot something and then I realized and I was like, oh, let me do that. Anyway. Dad pats the box with his hand. "Well, this is so Michael can do JavaScript coding at home. But since it's the only computer in the house, we're gonna set it up in the front room so everyone can use it. Understand?" We all nod, but Nicole and I exchange a look, and I remember what it meant. Michael getting that sizable gift seemed so unfair to us and completely out of the norm. They didn't have money for something like that, but now it makes sense. Michael's birthday was the first of ours since Emma went missing. Mine is in April and Nicole's is in March. Maybe this was their way of distracting us, keeping us from seeing the cracks in our own family, or from uncovering the truth of what they had done. Busy minds don't wander. A knock at the front door startles me, pulling me from the past. I quickly eject the tape, slide it back into its sleeve, and place it with the others, well, except for the one that's been left out, set on top of the VCR. That one doesn't belong to the others. Out on the porch, I find Lucas. He's wearing a gray knit beanie that I'm sure his mother made. His hands are slipped into the front pocket of his jeans, and he smiles at me. It's the kind of smile that makes the eyes sparkle. No one's looked at me like that in a very long time. Despite the temperature outside, hovering in the 50s, my skin feels warm to the touch. "Hey," I say, pushing open the screen door so there's nothing between us. Well, except for that secret that feels more like a brick wall, stacked 5 miles high. Everything all right? It's the question you ask when you've gotten more bad news than good in your life. Yeah, everything's fine. He pauses for a moment. Oh, what happened here? Lucas gestures to where the door's wood has splintered. I glance at it. The break-in. But I can't tell him that, because it might have something to do with his sister and what our parents did. Oh, we were hauling a piece of furniture out to donate to Goodwill, and, well, that happened. Another thing to fix, I guess. I shrug and offer the tightest smile. Did you need something? I quickly add, trying to make sure the subject of the broken door is changed. His eyes linger on the door for a moment before swinging back to me. No, he says. I just wanted some fresh air and to see if you had time for a walk. Sure, I nod. Let me grab my coat. Of course you would have time for him. Anyway, he smiles again, and smaller this time. I shove my feet into a pair of old tennis shoes and grab the nearest coat hung on the rack. It's a faded old denim jacket. Mom's. I consider putting it back and picking another, but I don't. I just slip it on. Some things you have to wear, like guilt and grief and old jackets left behind by loved ones who've passed. Where to? I ask, closing the door behind me. Lucas looks left, where a long driveway leads to the road. Then he looks right, where the curved waterway followed by concrete steps cuts through the hillside. How about down to the creek? I haven't seen it in ages. I swallow hard, but agreed to his suggestion. It would be odd if I said I didn't want to go down there. We walk side by side, following the path of the waterway my dad poured when we were kids. It was his design, a means to ensure heavy storms didn't erode his land when the rain ran downhill. Dad was always worried about losing things. He didn't have much, which made what we had all the more valuable, even the dirt on his land. Both of my parents were that way. My mom due to loss, my dad due to having little to begin with. There's a drop-off a few feet high where a wall was created out of cement, and rocks collected on the property. When the rain is heavy, it flows over it and crashes to the pavement, making a sound like a waterfall. Lucas jumps first, his feet landing firmly on the concrete. He turns and holds out his hand to help me, just like he did when we were young. But unlike back then, I actually need the help now. I take his hand, bend at the knees, and hop off the ledge. When my shoes hit the pavement, my bad knee gives out, and I nearly tumble over. His hand grabs the side of my waist, keeping me in place so I don't fall. I got you, he said. Oh, okay, he says. I look up at him, studying his face. There's 1,000 words I want to say to him, but the only one I let out is, thanks. We exchange smiles. Mine is tight, like a rubber band stretched to its limit. His is the opposite. She's about to spill everything to this dude. The concrete steps leading down the valley are large, so we take them slowly. They're lined with rocks and boulders, also collected from the land, 5 feet wide on either side. On the left, 3 lampposts are positioned equally in distance to one another. Beyond the concrete and the rocks are hillsides, covered in old trees, wild, untamed weeds, and fallen leaves and branches. Lucas holds my hands. We're at the bottom. When his fingertips slip away, I can feel them cradled in mine like a phantom limb. The valley feeds into a clearing enclosed by hefty box elder and ash trees. From where we're standing, it looks like the tips of them are touching the dull gray sky. Leaves, ranging in colors from yellow to orange to brown, dance through the crisp air, falling one by one before settling into the ground. I forgot how incredible it is down here, he says, scanning the area. It really is, I say. Where are your siblings? I sigh. They went to find my dad. He furrows his brow. What do you mean? You know those emails I told you about? The ones I send to my dad every week? Lucas nods. He wrote back. Wow, that's unbelievable. He scratches the back of his neck and glances down at his shoes. It is. Why would he write back after all this time? Maybe because Mom passed and he felt obligated to reply, I shrug. What did he say? Not much, just that he couldn't be here for us. Why even send the email then? I don't know, but Nicole wanted to find him, so she had Michael track down the IP address to where he sent the email from. And you didn't want to go? No, because I can't get my hopes up again. I'm sorry, Beth, Lucas says. And I'm not exactly sure what he's apologizing for, but I tilt my head and nod. The wind whispers through the trees as though it has something it wants to say. We all do. Lucas clears his throat. how are the funeral arrangements coming along? He obviously wants to change the topic of conversation. Death is an easier subject than the unknown. It's tomorrow. She has to be cremated and have her ashes spread around the property. I looked at him. You know how my mom was. She never wanted anyone to make a fuss over her. Even her final wishes were as hassle-free as she could be. Yeah, I remember bringing her flowers on her birthday, and after she thanked me, she scolded me for wasting my money. He lets out a small laugh. That was Mom, I say, shaking my head and smiling at the memory. She gave everything, and she wanted nothing in return. I pulled the jean jacket a little tighter around my body, and for a split second, it feels like a hug from her. Would you mind if my mom and I stopped by to pay our respects? He asked. We won't stay long, only 10 minutes or so since she's not doing well, but I know she'd like that. I lower my head, looking down at my old tennis shoes. I probably walked 50 miles in them, but all they've gotten me is here. I should say no. I should make up a reason as to why they can't come. But there is no good reason. At least not one I can tell Lucas. His lips sit partially open, waiting for an answer. Of course, it's at sunset. That's when she wanted it to be. He smiles and nods. Shall we? Lucas gestures to the field's overgrown grass. I know, it's like always Beth's fucking POV. Trust me, I freaking know. I return the nod, but not the smile, and walk in step with him. Dad used to keep it cut short, but now the grass comes up past my knees. Lucas and I used to race each other from one fence to the other. I was faster than him until sophomore year of high school, but even then he'd still let me win, pretending to trip and fall just before he reached the finish line. No matter what I was going through, whether I was feeling on top of the world or hitting rock bottom, Lucas always made me feel like I was a winner. We trudged through the unmaintained land carefully, watching out for holes that gophers and groundhogs had burrowed in. The grass rustles against our pants as we leave the field and enter a wide path that cuts through the woods. To the left, it's thick and dark with a smattering of small trees fighting with one another for space and nutrients. To the right, the trees are spread out, larger with robust trunks and sprawling roots, demanding ample room around them. Before we reach the creek, I can hear it. It burbles along its bed and trickles around the trees and branches that have succumbed to it. Finally, we're standing at the bank of the stream that severs my parents' land. The water is brown. It sounds prettier than it looks. Across the creek, several weeping willows lean into it, while their long, graceful branches graze over the babbling water. The only way to get to the other side is by crossing the stream or walking up the steep side of Highway X and taking the bridge across. Lucas stands beside me, feet shoulder-width apart, chin slightly lifted, hands tucked into the front pockets of his jeans. I scan the creek until my eyes lock onto the arch of the highway underpass. The water under the bridge is shallow, causing the creek to narrow and create a bed of sludge. I blink and I see her there, covered in blood and mud, clouded eyes that see no future. Her skin pale and cold. I wonder what they did with her. Where is Emma now? I blink again, and she's gone. Lucas rests a hand on my shoulder. Are you all right? I shake my head and say, yeah. He doesn't notice my body tells the truth while my mouth lies. Thought I lost you there. No, I'm still here. I avert my gaze because I can barely look at him. Good, he says, because I missed this. He adds with a faint smile. My eyes find their way back to him like magnets to metal. Miss what? Us. My body speaks for... Oh my... If this motherfucker fucking kisses him in front of the place where his sister died, I'm gonna fucking lose it. I'm not looking at the page because I'll be so pissed if I read ahead and that's what I read. Okay. Yeah, how romantic. My body my body speaks before my brain can shut it down and says it's not a good idea. My arms snake around his neck and my hands settle on his back. He pulls me into him, although I haven't kissed him in decades. When our lips touch, it feels like everything I've ever lost has been safely returned home. It starts off slow and soft and warm. When the pressure builds, our tongues take... Oh, what's this? Oh, you're French kissing. Okay, like tongue and all up in there. Okay. Our tongues take over, flicking and swirling around one another. My teeth sink into his fleshy lip. I can't get enough, and I wonder how I ever let him go to begin with. It feels like a first kiss, or a final one. But I fear it might be the latter, thanks to the deadly secret sewn to my heart. I want to tell him, but if I do, I think it'll destroy us again, and this time I won't survive it. Ah, Beth, what do you... I don't... Why would you think it's a good idea? No, in the first place, why would you think interacting with this man who you just found out or believe, who your dad killed his sister? Like, I don't... Why do you think it's a good idea to get with him? Or, in fact, why do you think it's a good idea to make out with him in front of the very spot where you know his sister's body was, at least? Maybe it's not the place where she died, but that's where her fucking body was. So... And you literally just saw her dead body. So why? Just tell me. I'm not understanding. I just can't like her. At this point, I just can't like her. Did you know my dad buried your sister out here? LMA. So glad that was so long ago, so you don't care. Oh my god, Beth, I don't... Are you mentally okay? Like, you just seem a little too uncaring. That you're trying to boink the brother of the sister your dad killed. And then fucking making out in front of the spot she died in. I don't understand that. I just don't. I just can't. I just really can't understand that. Like, I mean, I'm so, like, at a loss for words. Because, like, why? Like, maybe it's like a way of grieving. Like, I've never heard of this type of grieving way before. Like there's people who, like, grieve who, like, will, like, become super depressed, like, in bed all day, or who, like, work through their grief, like, literally, like, working, doing their job, like, ignoring their grief. Like, I've never heard of someone, like, kissing or, like, making out with the brother of the person who you think your dad killed. Like, I don't know. It's just not... Beth, come on now. Like, I get it. You old as fuck. Your daughter left you. Your husband divorced you. I know you were a thirsty hoe, but, like, can you wait? Can you wait, maybe? Ah, yes, the third step of Greece. French kiss the brother of the person your father killed. I just can't. That needs to be on a shirt. No, it doesn't. That does not need to be on a shirt. I don't... Anyway, that was the end of chapter 24. I just... Well, we're getting somewhere in the story. We probably have maybe, like, 1 or 2 streams left. I kind of want to see if I can knock it all out next stream. Probably not, though. There's still quite a good chunk left. I'm so hung up on the fact that she decided to do that. Well, okay, her excuse. My body moved faster than my mind. Bitch, it's all one thing. You wanted it. It happened. It's all one thing. It's all one thing. Like, I get it sometimes. Like, sometimes my mouth moves faster than my brain, and I, like, say stupid shit. Yeah, like, but, like, I think if I just imagined a dead body, specifically the sister of the guy that I'm currently walking with, I don't think my next reaction would be to turn and make out with him. I think I'd be like, we need to leave, because I will literally puke everywhere. Because I literally just imagined your dead sister. Like, that's how I would react. But no, apparently good old Beth is just like, no, we're gonna turn and just tongue down his throat. So I think that, the guy broke in, actually not, but it's all I've got. I'm trying to, like, make a theory, but I'm just so stuck on that last chapter. I just can't. And I feel like, honestly, it's kind of like ingenious writing, because I feel like it's, at this point, it just has to be, because I can't explain it any other way. This has to be like a distraction tactic from the author to distract us from, like, key clues or some shit, because if this is just the author being like, oh, now's a great time to put in a kissing scene and a romance after she imagined a dead body, perfect timing. Because if the author did that, I gotta start questioning things. Like, are you okay? Are you mentally all right, or is this a fetish thing? Like, are you putting stuff in there? I know. Listen,
I'm so there with you. Like, I think there's better chemistry between Nicole and the cop, honestly. Like, I'd rather go into that romance than whatever the fuck is happening here, because this is not healthy. This is not healthy. Yeah, literally. Thank you. Yes. I need a break from Beth. I need a break from Beth. Good thing the next chapter is Laura's chapter, which is the mom. So, but I am going to be leaving it here because it is 2:05. Or not 2:05. It's been 2 hours and 5 minutes. But don't leave just yet. We are gonna go raid someone. But I just we're gonna be reading more of this again on Thursday. So that's right around the corner. And I'm gonna have like the same like mental like process when I like reread this last chapter to be like, oh, where did we leave off last time? I'm gonna be like, yes, the French kissing in front of the spot you imagine the dead girl. Yeah, that's great. Yep. Anyway, let's go find someone to raid. I don't want to do Tuesday and Wednesday. You don't want to do Tuesday and Wednesday? Well, Tuesday is what is it? Horizon Zero Dawn. Wednesday, I don't have anything planned for Wednesday really, so that's like one of I decided to make that a no stream day. I think. Can we skip to Thursday? Oh, bro, same. Honestly, would rather skip to Thursday. Anyway, we are gonna go raid. Let's raid Slacker. Let's go raid Slacker. Dun, 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 dun. But yes, stream tomorrow is Zero Horizon Dawn, so hopefully you will be there. If not, I will catch you in the next one. But have a good night, day, whatever it may be for you guys, and bye-bye.